Alright, so I just watched Drop, and not the beat kind, the thriller kind, where first dates go from awkward to am I about to become a murderer awkward. The setup's actually kind of cool. A woman goes on a first date and starts getting these creepy escalating digital messages, kill your date or your kid dies. Yeah, stakes. High. Tension. Also high. I was locked in. It's got that classic ticking time bomb vibe with just enough mystery to keep you guessing, just like a tech age panic room meets Saw on Tinder. And the acting, yeah, it's solid. Everyone brings their A game. Our lead, she's got layers. Trauma, nerves, fire, confusion. Totally sells the paranoia. Her date, surprisingly charming, but just shady enough to keep you wondering if he's gonna snap into killer mode. And it's those performances that really help sell the tension in Drop. And the camera work. Chef's kiss. All really just well thought out and clearly well calculated. Close, claustrophobic framing that puts you right in the pressure cooker. Some shots linger just long enough to make you start scanning the background for clues. Atmosphere wise, this movie's got its ducks in a row. But then, but then, oh, oh no, oh god, oh no. Because the second half of this movie falls off a cliff. Look, when your movie hinges on a moral dilemma, kill your date or your kid dies, that's a powerful setup on the surface. The problem is, speaking as a parent of two wonderful children, this is not a dilemma. I'm sorry. No parent is hesitating at this decision. I'm sorry. This may make me sound like a cold, heartless killer. I am not speaking from experience. But if you're telling me this perfectly charming and good looking man who I'm on a date with, a first date, obviously, it's his life or the life of my kid who I can see on my home CCTV is being held at basically gunpoint, this no longer becomes a dilemma. This becomes a very clear and easy decision. Yes, you're perfectly charming and you're an innocent life, and I know the movie wants me to wrestle with this, oh, but is one innocent life worth another? Not about that. That's my kid. You are a stranger. That's my child. This is not a dilemma. The mental gymnastics here, they go right out the window. The answer for me, and as I'm sure for every parent who loves their kids out there, save the kid. That's the answer. So that whole thread about questioning innocence and the value of life, yeah, that crumbles and collapses and explodes under its own weight. And speaking of collapse, this thing leans hard into formula. Like, you know, those thrillers where the villain ends up being some random friendly background tertiary character from Act 1? Yeah. This movie's that. You're not solving a mystery, you're just basically watching a countdown until you get to the moment where they reveal what you've already guessed or know. It's either him, her, or her. That's it. Oh, you thought that was them? You were right. So in a Who Done It movie, the Who is kind of like, yeah, I've seen it all before, so the Who becomes inconsequential and predictable. Okay, give me the why. Is the why good? Why is this happening? Ugh, when they finally give you the villain's motivation. It's a side story connected to the guy she's on a date with, not even really her story. So there's this weird detachment like, why should I care? It's not her story. And that's a recurring theme here. Missed opportunities. While the story of what's going on and why the villain is motivated to be a villain is perfectly interesting, it's happening over here, off frame, out of sight, out of mind, and it's only inserted into the story at a moment where unnecessary exposition is required to fill in what is seemingly a no plot point. And it just makes you go like, well, if she was involved with this, I'd care. But the fact that this doesn't concern her and she just happens to be here, less than a fly on the wall, it's like, I don't care. So then what we're left with is we have a character who's involved in a story which we don't really care about because we're not told about the story until right at the end, and then it's rushed. And she's got all of these interesting character facets that make her who she is, but these character facets never end up playing a part in the story that she ends up in. For instance, She's a psychologist. She's a survivor of domestic violence. You'd think those would be meaningful in a thriller like this, but nope. She's a psychologist, doesn't have anything to do with the story, and doesn't serve her in any way. She's a survivor of domestic abuse. A compelling and sad story, but doesn't actually affect the story that she's in and therefore becomes just window dressing. It feels like the writers scribbled those notes on a whiteboard and then said, we'll come back to that later. Spoiler alert, they don't. As a result, this is a really hard one to call because the premise had me locked in at the beginning. I found some enjoyment to be had. There was good tension. The acting was solid. All of these things that I've said already. But it just left me wanting. As a result, I can't really score Drop more than a 5 out of 10, which saddens me because I wanted more from this. In the end, Drop starts strong. It's got a great hook, strong performances, stylish direction, but man, it just doesn't stick the landing. It goes from, ooh, interesting, to, oh, we're doing this again, to, wait, that's it? It's like ordering a big, delicious ice cream sundae, and then someone comes and scoops the cherry off, along with all the cookie crumble, and the brownie, and the sprinkles, and you're basically just left with some ice cream, which at first looked nice, but is now kind of melted into nothingness. Yeah. I would say Drop is worth seeing if you're into these types of movies, but just be warned that it's stuff you've all seen before. That's the warning. But over to you all. Have you seen Drop and what did you think? Did it keep you guessing or did you crack it by the 20-minute mark? Let me know below. And if you like this video, hit that like button, punch that subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here on the Silver Screen Dudes. No matter what the movie is, go and support your local cinema. Megaplex or not, go and watch a movie this weekend. Keep the magic of cinema alive. Long love cinema, and I'll see you all on the channel very soon. Bye for now.